Hey, thanks for tuning into Tech Talk Tuesday. My name is Brian Mursky, and I am the owner of Veranda Technologies here in Brick Township, New Jersey, and we service Monmouth, Ocean, and the surrounding counties in New Jersey. So this will be a quick one this week, and it really only applies to you if you have an iPad or an iPhone. So if you don't, this is when you can sit out or obviously stick around and see what this is all about. But about a week ago, I noticed, and I knew this was coming, but I didn't make the connection until today. About a week ago, when I started to launch some of my applications on my iPhone, and this applies to iPads as well, I got a notification that the app I'm running or launching could cause slowness on the phone. I forget exactly how it's worded, but there was a new message that popped up. What that means, and it's poor implementation on Apple's part. What that means is the app is a 32-bit app. And I'm not going to get into the difference technically between 32-bit and 64-bit. 64-bit. But 32-bit is older, 64-bit is newer. And back in December of 2014, Apple let all of its developers, software companies that write apps for their App Store, the iTunes Store and the App Store, know that 32-bit apps will at some point be discontinued. And they started enforcing that in June of 2015. But there were already, hundreds of thousands of apps written prior to that time, many of which you and I use every day. So what this means is at some point in the future, and Apple won't confirm what that point is, which is part of the problem here, 32-bit apps are going to stop working. So you'll go to launch something on your phone, and it won't work. And until very recently, 3 weeks ago or so, there wasn't even a way to tell which apps those were. You can't tell if something's 32-bit or 64-bit. And I can't tell which apps are 32 and 64. You can't go to anybody, you can't bring it to the store. There was no way to know. So Apple now has tried to help that. Again, this is a very poorly implemented attempt, in my opinion. Most of the blame, again, falls on the developers. They've had 3 years, just shy of 3 years, to update their apps, right, with a 64-bit version. But Apple hasn't been very forthcoming at all to its user base, me, you, to let you know, A, it's happening, B, maybe when it's happening would be great. The expectation is that this will take place when they come out with iOS 11. Right now we're at iOS 10.3. So the first thing you want to do is to check your phone under Settings, General, and About, and find out what version you have. If there is an update pending, go ahead and update it. You want to get yourself to version 10.3. Once you're at 10.3, most of you probably are already, you'll go to the same place, Settings, General, About, and there is a new entry called Applications. Once again, poorly implemented, because it says Applications, and then it says how many applications. In my case, it's 108, except when you click on that, there's only 9 applications listed. That's because those are the 9 applications that are going to not work when 32-bit app support is turned off, disabled. So it's good in a way that they've built in a way to check this, except it's not worded very well, so even if you found it by accident, you wouldn't know what you were looking at or why you're looking at it. And they didn't tell anybody it was there. It just kind of showed up in the last update. So all across the board, Apple's at fault for implementation and poor documentation, poor user information. But they have been telling developers of these apps for 3 years, get your stuff together because we're going to stop supporting 32-bit apps. So we'll give them a little bit of blame, but certainly not all of it. What you need to do is get yourself to 10.3 and then go to Settings, General, About, and click on Applications and look at what's there. Because very soon My hunch is before the end of this year, probably very shortly after the end of the summer. So let's say between August and December, anything in that list won't work, and there's nothing you can do about it. So if they're games or mild utilities that you don't use a lot, big deal. You'll find another solution. You'll find another free or $2 or $3 app that fits that purpose. In my case, of my nine. So I have 9 apps out of 108. It's about 8%, 8.3%. Two of them are mission critical for me. Now I can live without them, but they're apps that I use all the time. They're from vendors that I work with all the time. One of them is the folks that gave me this nice t-shirt, and I'm recording the video on purpose in their shirt because it's software that I use 365 days a year, and their iPhone app isn't going to provide me any benefit very soon, so they need to get on their game. I just wanted you to know about this. I wanted everybody with an iPhone and iPad to know to check this because you can expect to lose support for these apps soon. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to us, ask us anything, our email address is always the same. It's helpdesk@verandatech.com. Phone number is always the same. My personal mobile number is 732-743-5772. You can find us online at verandatech.com or facebook.com/verandatech. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time on Tech Talk Tuesday. Thanks.